are in Bamako, Mali. Salam alaikum, bonjour, hello.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
And how would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Moussa again. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a coach, I'm an author. I've wrote 5 books talking about entrepreneurship, management, leadership, sales, and this is who I am.
And we were just talking, we were pre-gaming all of the topics that we would love to cover. Let's go rapid fire.
Okay.
You look like somebody with resources. Did you come from a wealthy family? How did you get even interested in business if you didn't come from a wealthy family?
Yeah, I did not come from a wealthy family. I remember when we were young with my brother, it was very difficult for our fathers sometimes even to buy the necessary for us. So, but we got the opportunity to have good education. We wanted a good school because my father was a teacher. So, gave his best so that we can have the best education. And we grew in the family when we have an ethnical in Mali we call the Maraka.
Maraka.
Yeah, the Maraka, the Soninke as this ethnical who love business. So I learned business with them because each holiday we went together at the market to sell some goods, some products. And I grew up with this idea that selling things can help you to get some money. So before I finished my school, I started selling some computer. I was very passionate about IT. So I was trying to do maintenance with IT, selling some computers. And I really appreciate this domain. And when I started working in the business, but before I started working in the business, as I told you, I was doing some business for myself. And I make the difference. I see the difference. I see that it's better to work for myself than working for somebody else. So I resigned 2 or 3 times, and I create my own business. It was very difficult at the beginning, but during the journey, I was very motivated. I really wanted to be successful. I was following some motivational people on YouTube, and I wanted to do like them.
Yeah.
Because each time when I listen to some motivational video, I have this courage. I'm very motivated to grow up, to move forward, and I see why not motivate other people and also work for myself. Because each time I help somebody, it's like I see that I'm also growing up. So I think helping other people can also help yourself to grow up.
That's interesting. I think I agree with that. That it's when we teach that we learn the most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I like teaching, because each person I teach become a customer after.
Interesting.
And want to buy with me because I'm the one who wake up him. Okay. So it's like when you go to see a doctor, the doctor will help you to diagnostic your sick, your disease. Is this one you want him to help you to cure it? So when I help people, when I make video to tell them this is the difficulty you have in your business, this is how you can resolve it, they come to me to help me to do it, and we propose them some services.
So sometimes the educational content that you create is for free. People see it, and then they want your services.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
So most of our services is how to help them to move forward, to grow their business.
What was the biggest challenge in all of this time that you've been, first of all, setting up your own company, that it sounds like it's information technology services?
Exactly.
And then you immediately started coaching others, it sounds like.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest challenge in your journey so far?
I've got a lot of challenges. The biggest challenge for me was with the family. Yeah, because...
Your own family?
Yeah, my own family, because...
Meaning your own kids?
Yeah. I was a public servant. And I resigned.
Okay.
And in my country, we don't have this mindset of resigning from this kind of job, because people are looking for this job.
For stability.
Yeah, they say for stability.
And you left it.
The warranty. And
So your mother was
your
mother, your
right
father,
with
and
me.
your wife.
And I was not married at that time, but my brother, father, sister, everybody was not right with me. They say,
Yeah.
"Oh, why you try to be public servant and
Well,
you can even do your business aside?"
Yes.
And I saw that I cannot be focused on two things at the same time and be successful and be excellent.
And they say if you have an option B, you will maybe not give everything to option A.
Exactly.
What kind of a public servant job was it?
I was in IT domain. Yeah, I was, I was working like a IT specialist in the university, and I spent like 2 years there, and I saw that this place is not for me. I was not learning much as I wanted. I was not performing, and I decided to quit. And when I quit, I went in another country to learn more about my fields, IT.
Which country?
It was in Benin.
Benin.
Yeah, it was in Benin,
That's
the
right.
capital at Cotonou.
Yeah.
And when I finished Benin, I went to Accra in Ghana.
Yeah.
So we have the same passion, which is traveling.
Yeah.
I've also traveled in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after Accra, I came back here and I created my business. At the beginning, it was very difficult, but I was confident that at the long term it will work. And I started, I was alone. And after I've been joining for some partner and some staff, and today everything is okay. We try to grow, to accelerate, and I'm very proud of what we are doing. Every day when I go out, people thank me for some video or some advice I give them, really help them in their business. And every single day I have some session of coaching. People come in my in my office to get some advice, and when you will see, like in the past, in my country, most of the people, I want to say, did not know about what is coaching. They have never seen this kind of services, even paid for that. But now they are ready to pay to have advice. They know what is it about, because most of the great entrepreneurs in my country have not been at school. So pay services was very difficult for them. But today they are understanding the power of services, of advice, and they are ready to pay for that. Because I start giving them for free.
That's interesting. You gave it for free, and people recognize the value.
Exactly.
So many questions. You've by the way, you've been honored as one of the, what's Barack Obama's program called?
Yali.
Yali. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been to Indiana. You've learned things in the United States.
Yeah.
You've been teaching other people here.
Exactly.
What's your plan for the future? You've already been recognized as an emerging leader on the continent.
Exactly.
What's your vision for the future? What's your biggest goal? Your biggest ambition?
Today is to teach other people, is to help them also to develop their mindset, because what I've learned during all this journey is that you cannot build big thing if you don't have the good mindset and the good knowledge. First of all, you have to learn practically. It's not only theoretical, be in the classroom and learn. No, you have to learn on the field. So after my program, you see, in the United States for the Yali, before that I also be a fellow for a program for Danida in Denmark. Also, when I spent also some amount there learning about business. I also been in a different country learning about business. And now I have opened the first school of business in Mali, which is EMI School, Entrepreneurship, Management and Investment. So I opened this school more than 1 year now. We are in the second year. And in this school, we teach young entrepreneurs about how to build your business, how to create, how to manage, and how to scale. And we don't want to teach them theoretically, as I told you, but practically. I want them to learn more about entrepreneurship, but also be on the field. So we invite a lot of mentor, a lot of coach. We invite entrepreneurs to come and share the knowledge we know, so that we can have big champions here in Mali. We will create and build big business. So I want also, as I told you, to scale this business in all the country in Africa. So I will create the first one here in Mali, but we are trying to move for Abidjan and Burkina Faso to create this same school there.
Okay. Other questions, if we still have time? We still
Yeah,
have time?
yeah, let's go.
Okay. So as a law professor,
Okay.
I have to cover with all my courses what I call the big five.
Okay.
Contracts, something about intellectual property, how do you protect or share your ideas when you create something new? Business formation, the formalities of it.
Okay.
Liability,
Okay.
you know, the risk that your product or service hurts somebody.
Okay.
And finally, employing people. It's a huge area of law, but also it's just an area of life, working with other people.
Okay.
So my questions are, what are your biggest pieces of advice that you think work in Mali, but maybe could work everywhere? What have you seen as the biggest piece of advice for each of these five topics? For example, agreements,
Okay.
contracts,
Okay.
when you negotiate, when you form them, and then when things go wrong.
Okay.
Any advice about contracts? What's your biggest piece of advice for contracts?
You know, I will tell you something. In my country, the best contract is the trust you have to these people. It's not the paper.
It's not the paper,
It's
it's
not
the
the
trust
paper.
you have
It's
with
the
other
trust you have for the other guy. So you better work with somebody you trust than write a paper and just say, oh, I can be confident. I'm secure. I'm in security. No, you are not in security, because the paper, most of those who have, I can say, some network, they know that if you decide to go maybe to the judge or for the police to work with this, it will take time. So they will lose your time, and at the long run, you will maybe abandon or quit. You know. So you better work with somebody you trust. If you don't trust somebody, don't work with them. Yeah, the contract. I cannot say. As an intellectual, somebody who has been at school, that the right paper contract is not something good. You don't have to do it, but the trust you have to the people is better than the paper we write.
Lately, I've been telling my students that the older I get and the more people I talk to, I think that the true value of the paper, because I teach law, so I can't say that the paper doesn't matter.
Exactly.
But what I say is that I believe
Yeah.
that it's the process of negotiating and asking, well, how can I screw up?
Okay.
What should happen when I screw up? What will the consequences be?
Exactly.
What's the worst that you could do? Let's talk about it. Here's how you could fail, and here's what, if that happens, if you fail me, then can we agree, then this will happen.
Exactly.
And that's where the value of the contract is.
Exactly.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's to explore the future and ask
Exactly.
the
You're
what if.
already prepared.
You're already prepared. So that
When it's
that,
failed, this is how we're gonna
Yeah.
fix it, how we're gonna manage and find some solution, and you're already prepared for that.
and that's part of the trust building also is, well,
Exactly.
what do you think is fair if this fails? And if this fails, what do you think?
Yes. And this is one of the advice also I give people. When you want to work together,
Yeah.
ask for advice. Because I'm somebody who give advice, but I'm one of the people who ask more for advice.
Yeah.
Before taking any decision. I need advice from my staff, from other people, from friends. I try to grab information and advice from everything before taking
It's an interesting dynamic, right? The duality or dichotomy between, you need to have confidence, confiance en français, but you need to doubt enough that you're asking for advice, conseil.
Exactly.
You don't want to be closed to advice, so you have to remain, I could be wrong, you have to keep the doubt
Exactly.
at the same time that you're confident.
Exactly.
It's a weird balance.
It's a good, yeah, exactly.
By the way, how many people do you think you've coached at this point? When did you start? How many years have you been?
It's like last year, individually, I coach about 150 people.
In 1 year?
In 1 year, last year.
Okay.
I have the statistic for that.
And you've been
But during all, I don't know, it's quite enough.
What year did you start coaching?
When? I can say to 1999.
1999?
Yeah, I think 2019.
Oh, 2019.
2019,
Okay.
I wanted to say.
Okay.
2019.
So it's been more than 5 years.
5 years, like.
And then the other question is, how many companies have come and bought your services? I thought you were a bit of an incubator, but you actually sell services. Somebody doesn't have to...
We have two organizations, two different organizations. We have the consultant firm, which is Group Expert Pro, and we have the incubator, which is Expert Labs.
Right.
So the incubator, we support young entrepreneurs who cannot afford our services. So we work with some partners, embassy, program, NGO, who pays for this entrepreneur, for these startups. Most of the time, we know that startups, they don't have enough fund to afford our services, so they pay for that, and we support it. So we have different programs with embassy. We work with USA embassy. We work with Danish embassy, and now we work with Lakes Development, SMV, so this organization with the incubator. So it's like a social organization. But we have the consultant firm, which is a profit company.
Right.
And now we work with other companies. We make some B2B, business to business. We work with big companies like Orange.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Orange is a client.
Yeah, we work GIZ, and the other different company, big company here in Mali, DFAC. People know some of these organizations.
So then out of your incubator, how many companies have you graduated out of your incubator?
In the incubator, it depends. Different programs have different numbers. Like we can have a program with 10 startups we have to support during 1 year or 6 months.
Okay.
We can have another program for 20 young entrepreneurs or women we have to support. So each year, I can say we support like around 50 young entrepreneurs each year.
And then you have separately Group Expert Pro.
Yeah.
How many clients would you say per year you have?
Oh no, Group Expert Pro is very enough because we have the B2B we do, and we also organize like a B2C training, and then professionals come to register, to do their subscription and pay by themselves to follow some training with us. And also each year in December, the first Saturday of December, we organize one of the biggest conferences here in Mali, which can gather around 500 entrepreneurs coming from all around Mali and also different West Africa countries.
Region
Also, yeah.
That's very interesting. Very quickly aside, and then we'll get back to the big 5 legal topics.
Exactly.
It must be amazing to anybody seeing this from outside the country that's not familiar with Mali, because most of the headlines that we see are terrorism.
Exactly.
That the French were pushed out. That's the perception.
Exactly.
That the place is run by Russian Wagner troops or something like this, and people say, Adam, are you sure you want to visit?
Yeah.
So would you say that when people see headlines like that, and some of this are real headlines, or they relate to real facts,
Exactly.
does it affect the business climate, or would you say, look, business still goes on? How would you explain it when people look from the outside and think it's not a safe country? What's your answer?
Yeah, it will affect the business because
It
from
does.
outside to inside, the perspective, the how you see in the media how the country is can really affect, can create some kind of fear while you are asking yourself if it's very secure to come in this country.
Whether to even visit.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
so but when you come in the country, you will see no, it's very secure. There's nothing in the capital, even in a lot of the conflict is only in the north part of the country. Okay. Mali is one of the big countries in Africa.
It is
so
big.
it's like when you take France, we have like 4 or 5 times France can enter in Mali geographically. So in the south part of Mali, most of the people are gathered in this part. So business is working, people are moving around like there is nothing. So we can do your business normally. You can travel whatever you want, who you are and what you want to do. I think people can be confident, come in Mali and do your job. So it's also our, responsibility to communicate and let know people that they can come and invest.
Yeah.
I used to tell people that a country with conflict is like a trading.
Is it a trading?
You know, trading, when you see sometimes the signal is up and after it go down.
Yes.
So when there is conflict, go down.
It's a good time to invest.
Because the next time it will go up.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good time for people to come and invest in Mali because the time is coming, signal will go up, and
there's a certain famous person who says, invest when others are scared.
Exactly.
And when others are very confident, that's when you should be scared.
Yeah,
that's when
I'm
you should be careful.
I'm telling you. So this is a bit what I share also with people. So.
So it's a good time if people are interested in Mali. This is a good time because people are scared from outside. So it's a great time to show up.
And we don't have the choice. When you are Mali, even if you are living abroad, at a certain moment you will have this need to come back in your country. So when you come late, you start from zero.
Is that happening? Can you observe that? Because I've heard about this in other countries, that people that grew up here or their parents grew up here, they sometimes have worked in Europe or the United States or elsewhere. They might have gone for school to China, like Sakanet, and they actually want to come back. Are you seeing it, that people are coming back?
Yeah. Most of them, when I travel, I was in China even last week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was in China.
Which city?
Guangzhou.
Yeah, that's where Sakanet was.
Yeah, I took part to the Canton Fair. They organize it each year. So I met a lot of Malians, most of them asking me how the business there, can I come back, what is a good time, how should I do, in which domain should I invest.
Interesting.
Most of them want to come back because the life they used to have, when you are abroad, most of them, they don't live, it's like work, home, work, home, work, home. In Mali here, we value more good time than money or than welfare. We value more good time. People are sociable. They try to connect but in Europe or in China, it's like there is no life. Your life is like a clock. You are every time moving against the clock.
The reason I'm laughing is that in the United States versus Europe, the Europeans think all Americans do is work, home, work, home.
Yeah.
We look at Europe, they get 5 weeks of vacation. We think it's the Europeans that enjoy their relaxation. And you're saying the Europeans only work.
Yeah.
And you say that here the lifestyle people value more than in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's even more of a lifestyle culture.
I think each thing have the good parts and the bad side, the bad parts. The bad part is like you can become lazy. Yeah, we can become lazy. You don't work hard. You don't give your best.
Is it partly the climate, though?
You say?
Is it partly the heat, the climate? How it feels so?
No,
it's so hot.
But I don't think in Qatar is more hot in here.
So it's a matter of, would you say, cultural?
Yeah, it's cultural. It's
the
more,
people relax.
the people relax. It's more cultural. It's not about the weather. I think it's more cultural. But we are trying also to. It's like fight against that, because don't become lazy. You have to rest when you are successful, when you succeed, and not rest before you succeed. It's also one of our culture is like when one person succeed, it's like you have to take care of everybody.
That is, I've heard this about African culture.
So it becomes difficult for you to get in a certain level. And you see that at a certain level you become stable. You cannot even grow and become a big champion, international champion, because people is like you have to be successful. You have to take care of everybody. You have to give this. You have to do that. But it's like we call it be sociable, but it's too much. Yeah, we have to find the
balance.
Yeah, the balance, exactly.
Okay, back to the big 5 topics. So you said with contracts, it's all about trust is more important than the paper.
Exactly.
What's your advice about liability and risk? Some businesses, we were just visiting a food business.
Okay.
The risk is that people will eat the food or drink the product and get sick.
Okay.
There's also risks when you have a factory, when they're producing things.
Exactly.
So what's the biggest piece of advice you have? People might have been upset with you that you gave bad advice, or you coached them and they're not, I made a bad decision. What's your approach to dealing with risk? Limiting risk? Do people sue each other here even? But more generally, just what is your approach to the fact that anything you do could harm somebody?
Yeah.
So what's the advice you give people about how to limit harm?
What I think about risk is there is risk which is directed against you, and there is risk which is directed
against somebody else. Yeah. That's a good point. Right.
So the way of managing the two can be different.
Okay.
When you are starting,
Uh-huh.
for me, you have nothing to lose because you are nobody. You have nothing.
So who's going to sue you?
Yeah.
You have nothing to.
Yeah, it's a good time to take risk, to fail, to come back,
Yeah.
to fail,
Yeah.
to come back. Nobody knows you.
Yeah.
So it's a good time for you to take most of the risk, to test, to fail, and to come back, to learn.
And then once you accumulate any assets,
Exactly.
any operation, you have to be more careful.
Exactly.
You're also responsible for more people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at that time, I will tell you, take the risk, do whatever you want, test it, come back, start from zero again. And I did not tell you, but this company is my third. I failed 2 times when I created my 2 first company. Failed.
Why did they fail? What did you do right the third time? Was it just luck?
Different, I can say different thing. Like the first one was I did not have at that time skills on financial education. So I got money and I live my best, life with all this money.
Uh-huh.
And when the bad time comes, nobody to face the bad time.
So always have a rainy day fund.
Exactly. So
reserves.
I learned from that.
Yeah.
My second business, I wanted to do a lot of things at the same moment. I wanted to do this, that, and also the company failed. And when I created this one, I decided to be focused and also manage well my business. And the most important was continue to learn. Continue to learn, because a business is like a people which is working. If you are at the same place, it's like the business is moving. So you're creating like some distance with the business. You have to work with him. You have to learn new tools, new skills, how to do it. And the way you manage your business when you have 2 people is very different of the way you have to manage the business when you have 10 people. It's different of the way you have to manage people when you have 20 people in the business. It's very different. So you have to learn every time from that. So we were talking about the risk, I think. So I can say when somebody else is very inside your business, when the risk is for outside, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to approach the necessary person, those who can really help you to reduce at a certain level the risk.
So ask other people how you can research.
Work with people. When you have to, somebody else have to be involved. Don't work alone at that time. You have to involve, and you have to work with experts. Most of the thing for the startup is what they want to do everything. They want to do, I would say, they are accountants, they are human resource manager, they are working the technical part. You work in everything. But when the business wants to grow, the risk become bigger. At that time, to minimize the risk, you have to work with experts. You have to give some part. This part, I don't master it. Why not work with experts who have experience on it? And if there is, I can say, risk and you fail, you can share the risk. It's like the more you share your money, the more you share the risk with people. And also another strategy is to have collaborators. To collaborate with other people, investors. But you have to be really organized before involving investor, because in my country people have the mindset of be the only owner of my business. They don't want to share risk. They want to share, the profit. But most of the time there is no profit. Yet, why you don't want to share something who doesn't even exist? So best for you to share the risk, and when the profit will come, you will also share it. So it will depend on a lot of things, but the more the risk is bigger, the more you have to share it.
How are we doing on, do we still have time?
Yeah.
Okay, because we have the remaining big 3 legal topics to cover, but I also want to remember to ask you about artificial intelligence and how you see people using it.
What?
Intelligence artificielle.
Okay, yeah.
So I want to make sure that we cover that topic. So we'll come back to the big 3.
Okay.
but let's make sure that we cover,
Okay.
that we discuss the topic maybe of the century,
Okay.
which is intelligence artificielle. What have you seen, and how are you advising people?
Today, intelligence artificial AI is like part of all our training today. We use it like every single day.
What are your favorite ones? Your favorite platforms?
ChatGPT.
Still,
The first one is the best one for me.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one is always the best one for me.
They were the first to release it, but I think Google was working earlier.
Yeah,
ahead
the
of-
first.
but the first to release it,
Exactly.
open source like that.
Exactly.
was Chat.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So you
Yeah.
like that one the most.
So we have a specialist here in AI, in intelligence artificial.
And what's the purpose? What are people using it for the most?
We are a consulting firm,
Okay.
so most of the time we do like diagnostic for entrepreneur, try to understand what's not working. So it helps us like to gather information, most of the information, and now analyze this information to see if our understanding of the problem is the same. So we can try to put the two results to see how it works. It helps us also to do a lot of reports. Yeah, when we have reporting, also to apply for a lot of program. So when we want to apply for a program, for a project, and we don't have idea, it's like some kind of brainstorming you do with
You do it with ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. You ask me question, you explain it, the project you want to do, and what you think that even in coaching, sometimes I can meet somebody with a complex problem. When I listen to this program, I have my own idea, but I try also to discuss with ChatGPT, put all the information I get to see what he think about this problem, how he think we can manage it, and at that side I can like put in all the information together with what I think to see if I'm on the good way. So it's part of our daily work.
Brainstorming.
Yeah, we work with that everything, and also we teach in management and leadership. We have a training in management leadership. We include how to manage with AI, how to take good decision with AI in your company, and also we have how to do your marketing, digital marketing with AI. We have also this training we give to our different students we support.
Do you think that, because we did a survey about the use of AI in Africa, in different locations around Africa, and one of the big questions was whether the perception on this continent among the startup ecosystem players is that AI actually has a more existential importance to solving problems in this context, or the contexts of this continent, than in a place like Europe or developed Asia or United States. And we can talk about why, but is that your perception as well, or are you more skeptical of that statement? That AI could matter more in places like Bamako than in Boston?
I don't think so.
No? Okay,
No,
why?
I don't
Why?
think so. I think
And I'll
it's
explain
like
the argument for the opposite.
AI is like is like using big tools
Yeah.
for a small business
Okay.
in our context.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's a good tools.
Yeah.
I see AI like a tools,
Yeah.
but it can be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have the most important, which is internet.
Okay.
Internet, we don't have internet. It's all around the country. There is some part of the country we don't even have internet.
Okay.
So internet is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people don't even know how to use computer.
So this is the argument that I heard from people about why it matters more in the African context.
Exactly.
And again, Africa has many contexts, but they have something in common, right? People pointed out, look, many countries, effectively, really, there's 80% of the informal sector. People can't read or write.
Exactly.
They have problem with basic math. You sometimes
Illiterate.
have to discuss something like a motorbike price several times to agree on the price, because basic math is sometimes missing. So their point, and I'm quoting other people who live here and know much more than I do. Their argument is that when you have a context of an informal economy with 80% illiteracy, you have multiple dialects.
Exactly.
But a lot of people have a phone now. And as long as there's some kind of internet connection, even something so simple as auto-translate, or something that you can speak into and find out what the correct price is after you add up different pieces of the math. Do you believe that argument? Is that convincing that that's why it might matter more to the quality of life here than in a place like Boston? Or is that, you don't buy that argument?
Yeah,
It's an interesting argument.
Yeah, it's an interesting argument, but as I told you, we need the base. The basic is education.
Education and internet access.
Exactly.
And that's actually going to matter more.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's like the next level, but we need the basic first, so that it can more be useful for us. But if you don't have the basic, give good education to people, build schools. When you have all these things now, it becomes very important. It can really help in our context. But for now, I don't think it's the most important. Even a lot of people try, like use some startups to educate people in the, I cannot say the place where we have difficulty of access, but it was very difficult because all the materials are not there. We need infrastructure. We need really the good infrastructure, and we need internet. Internet is very important. If you have internet, we can teach people all around the world. Yeah, for me, AI is just a tool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Gmail. It's like I don't know. Most of people will say that when AI will come, a lot of work will disappear.
You don't buy this?
No, I think it's like just tools. Okay. We'll use it as we used other tools before that, like the website, like we use. Even the phone is just a tool. Before the phone, people were sending letter. Yeah, today we don't send letter, no more paper letter. We just call. But it's a tools. It's not because the tools has come that people will disappear. Some work will disappear, but those will appear.
Okay.
This is how life works.
That is one possible future that a lot of people think is going to happen. So back to the big 5 legal topics. We covered risk. We covered contracts.
Exactly.
The last few are business forms. Any advice about when to form a business? Do you do it immediately before you even start the work? Or do you wait, start the work, and then form the business later? Quick answer.
I think it depends.
Okay.
It depends on how you decide to create your business. There is some business who start when you're very young, you don't know people in the environment, in the ecosystem, and you decide to create your own business. Your own business. You are learning now about the business. I will tell you that it's not the good moment to create, to put the form.
You don't need the formalities.
Yeah, you don't want the form to make formal your business. Start first. Understand first what is the business. You have to understand which is the good status you have to take, which is the good to make it formal. We have some differences. If you have to use to your company, should be open company, as we call it, anonymous society here, or individual enterprise. You don't know even difference between all these things. So it will be very difficult for you to take good decision. So take your time, try to understand, spend 1 year, 2 years, the first thing is to get some customer first. To try to make money, understand your business.
Get customers first.
Yeah, get customer first.
Before you worry about formalities.
Yeah. So when you understand your business, then the customer will tell you which formal company you have to create.
Okay.
The customer will tell you.
And are there different forms of companies that people form in Mali, or is it just one form?
No, we have like 3 forms, even 4. We have the individual enterprise. It's your company is your own company. You are the only owner, and all your assets, all your property, what you own, and the company are all together.
Next,
we have the SRL, Société à Responsabilité limited company, and we have difference between you and the company. and the company can have also many honor. Yeah, you can have many honor with different parts. Like you have 80%, you have 20%, and we have a manager. We have a manager to manage the business, and we have the big one. This is Société SA. Okay.
This is the third kind.
Yeah, this is anonymous. The second one was Société à responsabilité, the limited company, and the big one, the last one is Société Anonyme, anonymous society or companies.
Why do they call it unanimous? So you can sell shares, right?
Yeah, in that one we can sell shares. We don't have to know all the people which is in the company.
That's why it's anonymous. You don't need to know all the shares.
Yeah, this is the big one, and for each one there is a small capital. There is a minimum capital you have to have. So the big one, the big capital, the middle one, we have also some capital, and the small one, we don't need even capital to start. You know.
So let get customers and let the customers dictate what kind of a company you become.
Exactly. When I create my company, I spent 1 year without have the. It's like informal.
Yeah.
It was an informal company,
Yeah.
and I get a contract with a company, and they ask me about all my paper. The paper they ask for, this paper, I rush to create all the paper. It didn't take time. It did not take time. Just 1 week I got all
1 week and you got the paperwork done. All right. So bureaucracy doesn't take forever.
No, bureaucracy takes very long time.
It does.
Yeah.
But you said 1 week was enough to get your paper.
Yeah, but normally it should not take more than 1 day.
True, but
it should not take more.
I thought it might be worse.
Creative. Today, make formal business in a lot of countries. We do it online.
Yeah,
just
almost
click.
For the simpler kind.
Yeah, but 1 week is still long.
Last two topics are ideas. There's two approaches. Open source, let people take my idea and work on it. There are people who keep their ideas a secret and protect it from others.
Yeah.
What's your biggest advice to people that come to you and they have an idea? Are you the kind of person that says, go ahead, just share it, it's probably not that special? Or are you the kind of person that emphasizes how you can restrict use of the idea and then license it, sell the right of access to the idea? Or any other advice that comes to mind about intellectual property?
Yeah. What I think, I give advice. What advice I give people most of the time is to share.
Sure.
But with the good people, share every time. Share, but with the good people. Not because people are going to steal your business, no, but because most of the people can discourage you of this business. Oh, I've seen this business. Somebody does it. It did not work. So if you don't tell your business to somebody who have a good mindset to tell you, oh, it's a good business, but you will have some difficulty. Have you think about this part? How will you manage this one? Ask you a good question so that you can think to find solution to improve your business instead of try to just discourage you and tell you the business will not work. I know somebody who have already done it here. I know. So we have every time you have to share it, because what's in your mind, the business you create at the beginning, most of the time, 3 years after, is not the same business. The business move, change.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like of what you were really thinking. It's the customer once again will decide what your business should be.
Yeah.
When I was starting my business, what I was doing is very different than what I'm doing now. What I was sharing like advice was not a service at that time. It was my passion just to share. It's the customer who called me to say, Moussa, do you have time? I want to pay to have your advice. I said, oh, so I can send advice.
This is a huge point, that let the customer mold what your business is. It seems like it's a little bit in tension with the advice of Steve Jobs, right?
Yeah.
The famous advice was, people don't know what they want until you show them.
Exactly.
You're saying kind of the opposite. That let them reveal to you what your business should be.
Yeah, people, as you said, the two can complete themselves. Yeah. Sometimes they don't know, they discover, but after they will tell you what they want, what they have discovered to be. Oh, I discovered this one, it's good, but why you don't put this one and remove this one and add this one? They have discovered something new, but they can tell you what miss and what is too much. Yeah. So, and I don't think, when they say they don't know, I think they know. They don't know the product, but they know their needs. They don't know the product, but they know their needs. They know that I need this one. That's why when they meet your product, they say, oh, this one, I need it.
Okay. So we covered your approach to IP, which is share it with good people who can help you develop your ideas.
Exactly.
And the last topic, I think, is working with other people. You've already said something a little bit about this, but let me explain the nature of the question.
Okay.
People are difficult. We're unpredictable.
Exactly.
We have our own ambitions. We have our own weaknesses.
Exactly.
And so, as a law professor, there's all kinds of legal terms and technical aspects of it. But from where you sit as a coach, what's your advice to people about how to approach hiring? And what's your biggest thing that you look for in when you're hiring? And any approach to managing people, and maybe even ending the relationship with some people. What are your biggest lessons about working with other people that a law professor could share?
Yeah. As I can say that is when I start my business, I've got a lot of difficulty of keeping people. When I hire somebody, after 3 months of training, showing how the business works,
They would leave.
they leave.
Why-
3 or
why-
6 months.
Why do you think they left after you spent all that
I
time?
understand after 1 to 3 years, I start understanding why.
Okay, what's the
Why
reason?
leaving.
What's the reason?
So I understand that when you're a small business, you are a school. You are a school. People come to learn and move. You cannot keep people.
Interesting.
You don't have to.
It's not just in Silicon Valley, it's in Bamako, Mali also, that people move quickly.
Exactly. People move quickly. You just come to learn and move because you cannot give them what they really need for their ambition. You have your ambition, they have their own ambition. You are not even close to your ambition, so you cannot add somebody else to, really get what they want to their ambition. So you have to accept that you are a school, and you have to accept that people have to come, learn and move. By the time they are learning, you have to profit from them. What they can give you, you have to take what you can take from them. So you have to prepare every time new people to come.
Hire to be ready for people to leave.
It's like a school. In the school, for this year, new people will come, old people will go. A school move like that. You have new students, old students who will leave, new students who will come. The university every time is doing marketing to take new students, but you can look for talent.
Yeah.
Look for talent. Just don't take people who will come and mess up your business. Look for talent.
What works best for screening? What's the best way to screen people if they don't have experience in life yet?
Repeat again?
How do you screen? You said only hire people with talent.
Yeah.
How do you identify somebody with talent?
I don't hire when I need, I hire when I see.
Don't hire when you need, hire when you see.
Yeah.
But how do you know? What do you look for when you think that person's going to be good?
Yeah, it's like,
How do you see it?
let's take an example with Amara.
Okay.
I
good
did
example.
not hire Amara because I was looking for a business developer. He was in my school, Entrepreneurial Management Investment School. He came, he registered, he spent 1 year in my school. So I'm a teacher in that school and I see some potential on him. I say, I know you can do something. So come in my firm. You spend like an internship for 3 months. I see how he was expressing himself. I saw that he can speak English. I see how he was really motivated. The way when he gives some exercises, he was behaving with that. When somebody has a talent, you can see it. I don't know for other people, but me, I can see it. Okay. I can see your talent and tell you, I think you're really good. You can be very good in that thing. So come and work in my business. Even if I don't have money to give you, I say, I will just give you something for transportation. But during the time you will be here, you will learn, and after I will propose you something you can do in the business. So I've stopped hiring people who don't have some talent. Because if somebody have a talent in something, even if you have all the motivation, you cannot be successful, you cannot be really happy in that thing. You will not do it as you want. But today, Amara has the work here. He likes what he's doing. He's passionate. I don't have to tell him do this. He knows how he have to do. He's doing for himself, I'm not here to control him. I don't even ask him where you were, what do you do. I just give some objective, and if you want, do it as whatever you want. I just need the results. You know. That's
you
why.
know much better. But I from what I see, I'm also grateful to Amara, and
exactly. And
you made a great decision. Yeah.
But I do my best when I hire you. I do my best to coach you during 3 months to 6 months. I train you. I have some training I will give you. I try to spend at the beginning some times with you to share my vision. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. This is what I've noticed, like small defaults you have to create. This is the potential that you have. You have to. I try to do your SWOT, your strengths, your weaknesses. This is the opportunity you can grab, and this is the threat you have to be careful. I try to help you to understand, first of all, yourself. And when you understand yourself, I will ask you what you need. If you need some tools, I will do my best to give you what you need. And I will encourage you. From time to time, I will call you, encourage you. And I notice when I do that, most of the time I have the result. But it cannot work with everybody. If it cannot work with me, I will call you and say, guys, I try to do something with you, but I notice that you and me, we can work together, but not in this manner. Maybe you have to go in another company or create your own. Maybe we can be partner.
Interesting.
You know, this is my way when you want to create. I will tell you that I've seen a talent in you, but I was mistaken. I don't think if your talent is to work with me. I think maybe it's this another kind of company, or you have to work for yourself and you can be partner. And I will help you. We will do whatever we can do together to grow what we need to do. I can help you also. And most of the people understand.
It's a brilliant way to let somebody go.
Exactly.
I believe you have talent.
Exactly.
But your talent is not perfect here.
Exactly.
It's not a perfect fit.
You are not in a good environment.
You're not in a good environment for
to grow.
To grow.
To explore all your talent. So you need another space.
If you're going to flourish, you need to be in another space.
Exactly.
Did you read that somewhere? Did you hear that, or did you come up with that on your own?
I don't know. You know, when you read a lot of things from,
it comes.
You don't know where it's come from.
Yeah.
At a certain level, you add on what you read,
yeah,
and you don't even know where it come from.
There's also just the experimentation.
Exactly.
After many years, you begin to learn what this approach works. This approach is not good.
Exactly. And I keep in touch with people who live here. And most of the time, when they leave my company, they bring with some customer too.
When they leave, some customers go with them.
Yeah. No. They bring me.
Oh.
It's customer.
Even if they left.
They
will still direct the customer.
Yeah. Because we keep in touch.
Yeah.
When I need them, I call them, I give them some. I can give you opportunity, even if you are not working here. If I see an opportunity, and I think you can do it, I call you, but I send the opportunity to you. So we keep in touch and we have good relationship. Most of the people who live here, they come back like in the month, at least once in the month, they come here, discuss with people, and they bring us some opportunity. I have my last accountant moved in another company, and he sees some difficulty there, and he proposed them to hire us to do the job.
That's
and before that also, we work with a lot of old, people who are working here. I do my best to keep the good relation because I've been taught by somebody, but I noticed that when I quit, we did not keep the good relationship. So even now, when people ask me, who taught you, I never say his name.
You never say name?
No, I never say his name because we don't keep a good relation.
Right.
That's why for me, even if you are not working together, keeping the good relationship is very important because each person who leave your business, you have to know this is a seller for you. It's like a market. How do you call it? A commercial. I don't know.
They're going to be a sales representative.
Yeah, a sales representative for you outside.
Yeah. Because they worked for you, so forever you're associated.
Everywhere they will go, they will say, "Oh, where have you been? I was in this guy company. That's why you are good like that." Yeah, it's this one who taught me. He learned this and that. He's good. will tell the good name of your business of you, and will be a sales representative. So you have the intern sales representative and the external outside people.
Even your ex-employees or external representatives. You've been very generous with your time. Is there
Yeah.
any final reflections? How can people stay engaged with you? Can they find your content? On YouTube, Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook and TikTok. And most of the time now, I'm also going on YouTube,
LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn, more also on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm very present on LinkedIn, but in Facebook and TikTok, I use the local language to communicate.
Okay. What's the name of the local language? It starts
Bambara.
with Bambara. That's right.
Yeah, because when I started, I was speaking in French, but I was more known in West Africa, different than my own country. I was known in Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina, Benin, than in my own country. So I decided the root of a tree should start in the ground where you are. So I decided to come back in my local language. And when I start, I became very popular, very famous in my own country. People know me now, they come to me and really appreciate what we do. So now I'm very focused in my local language. Even my books, I translate my book into local language in audio, and I put in the flash drive and people buy it.
Right on a flash drive?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
they buy it.
That's an interesting.
We sell a lot of that each month because it's in the local language. They can listen in the radio, in the TV, in the car.
Yeah. You mentioned your 5 books. Amra mentioned you write 1 book per year. What is the process? Is it fresh lessons that you're observing that year? Are you sort of collecting last year's wisdom?
You said?
In each new book,
Yeah.
where's the inspiration? Because after your first, your second, your third book, your 4th book, I would guess you've already written all your wisdom. Are you basically taking fresh wisdom every year and putting it into the next book?
No, it's a different book. For me, it's like I'm writing the journey of an entrepreneur.
Okay.
There are some steps in the journey of an entrepreneur. Most of the entrepreneurs start by working for somebody.
Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Learning every
Why?
time is a good idea.
You're learning
Because you can be in the place of being hired, be I can say an employee. You know,
an employer.
yeah. First of all, when you are an employee, before becoming an employer, you understand your employee. So it can be very good to be an employee first.
Be an employee first, employee before you. But
Yeah,
employee
it's not compulsory.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can be good to understand
Yeah.
how the people feel when they're working for somebody else,
Right.
how they think.
Yeah.
So when you become employee, it's easy for you now to manage them because you understand their mindset.
Yeah.
So my first book was how to get a job.
Not how to build a company.
No, how to get a job as an employee.
Interesting.
And when you start working for somebody, you have to be confident. You have to know which is your objectives. Where are you going? Which is the next level? How can I move forward in this job? That's why my next book was on personal development. How to be confident. So my next book, my following book was on personal development. How to be confident, know your objectives. How do you know your objectives? You want to create your business. What do you need first? Some money. But this money, you have to know how to manage it. You have to know how to use it, because if you lose money, you cannot build a good business. If you cannot manage money, it will be very difficult for you to manage your business. So the following was financial education. How to manage money, your personal money, and how you can keep some money and now use it to invest in the business. That's why the next one was how to create a business.
That only
The
comes.
money-
It's only after the first 3. Your 4th book is how to build a business.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
The
Right.
fourth one, how to create and manage a business.
Right.
How to create and manage a business. And when you create a business, one of the most difficult things to get customer.
Yeah. That's why it's better to
struggle
start.
to convince the customer. And the last one was marketing and sales, how to sell and attract people.
Interesting.
So the books are like the journey of an entrepreneur.
So what's next?
Next is coming.
Yeah. Did you know?
And when you take all my books are very close from I can say concept. The first one was the disciple of employee. Disciple, not discipline, but disciple. I don't know if you.
Disciple. It sounds like
Disciple.
a disciple of a good employee.
Yeah, the disciple. It's like disciple is like when you take Jesus, you have 12
That's right. Disciples.
disciple. Okay.
Yeah.
The second one was the 365 verses of personal development.
That's one of your books.
Yeah, the second one, personal
I
development.
saw that one.
The 365 verses of personal development. The third one was the 5 pillars of financial education.
Okay.
The fourth one was the pilgrimage of entrepreneurship, African entrepreneurship.
The pilgrimage.
The pilgrimage. And the last one was the blessing of marketing and sales.
So what's the pattern here? The blessing of marketing and sales.
Yeah.
You had numbers in 3 other titles. Am I remembering right?
Is it?
So what's the pattern in the titles? It seems like some involve numbers. The last one doesn't have numbers.
Yes.
But it's a great
And
set
what
of
is
titles.
close of religion?
I should have
Disciple,
thought, yeah, disciple,
verses,
pilgrimage.
Pillars,
Yeah.
pilgrimage, blessing.
What are the 5? Oh, the 5 virtues, right? The 5 Muslim virtues. Is that correct?
Yes, there?
The 5.
Yeah, we have, I think, in the yes, it's right.
What are they?
Yeah.
Generosity.
We have the faith, the prayer,
Yeah.
the zakat is like,
Acts of generosity.
you say,
Acts of being charitable.
charity, the pilgrimage,
Pilgrimage.
the pilgrimage
Yeah.
for, and la prière, la
Ramadan.
foi. Huh?
Ramadan.
Ramadan, yeah, Ramadan is like Karem. When you don't eat, I don't know how you
It's
say
a fast.
The fast.
Fasting.
Exactly, fasting.
During the day.
Yeah, it's the fast.
That's interesting.
So now I
So-
create the 5 pillars
Yeah.
of education, financial education.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
So because I think one of the best company or organization in the world is the religion.
Why do you think they're so good? Some have existed for thousands of years.
Yeah, you
So,
can. It exists. We come, we move, and this organization still exists. So if you want your business to grow and be successful and still be present even after your death, you have to follow and you have to repeat. You have to copy the model of the religion.
Wow. I think you're right. The first thing that comes to mind is the power of icons and a single powerful logo.
Exactly.
Islam has the moon. Christianity has the cross.
Exactly.
Apple has the Apple logo.
Exactly.
Nike has the Swiss.
And you need a Messi. A Messi is the founder.
Oh yeah, the Messiah.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Versus
You need
Muhammad.
member. The member is the member of the religion. That is your customer. But your customer should not be only customer, but they have to be member. A member is somebody who's get in an organization.
And
When you
believes.
start buying
Yeah.
iPhone, you don't stop. It's not just a product. You are part of the member who own iPhone. That's why you want to have iPhone, iWatch. You want to have all the necessaries. You consider in the social class, something like that. It's not only buying the product, but say be member of this organization.
There's a fascinating thing also about similarities and contrasts involving recruiting new members. Some religions don't recruit. Some religions do recruit. But
Exactly.
you can make an analogy to customers. You don't want to lose customers. You don't want to lose members.
Exactly.
Interesting comparison. Last question, because we're in a heavily Muslim country. When you say things like this, you don't get into trouble.
No,
People are pretty mellow, pretty chunky.
No. Not
Calm
at all.
here.
People understand. Most of the time, they are very confused. They want to understand why, what is the relationship, and most of the time, they are more curious and they buy.
And the last thing would be, what makes Mali different? You've been to other countries around here.
Yeah.
What should people remember makes a Malian different? And also, it's not one people, right? There's multiple identities within the country.
Yeah.
But what would you say makes the country as a whole different?
In Mali, what makes more different Mali from other countries is our social culture. If you have a business which involves the part of sociability, I don't know if I can say it like that, because more people are more sociable. So, like you take the how do they call it? Like the business, like marketing network business. Most of it, I don't know if you know the how they call it. We have some kind of business, network marketing. Most of the time, this kind of business, if it's good business, it can work easier. But if it's not good business, you can have a lot of people. It can be a scam, you know. But because people are very close and they trust people easily because of the religion, you know. So I don't know you, but you can come to me. You say you are hungry, you want to eat, you need money, and I will give you.
Okay.
Just because God said to give to those who don't have it.
Yeah.
So in their religion, people are very sociable, people are really helpful, and sometimes it works, but sometimes, you know, most of them after, you know, they don't get really what they are looking for, and when people then think does not work well, it can have consequences. But I think most of the African countries are not very different. I work in the other country, are not very different, but the particularity of Mali is the sociable mindset of people.
Social mindset.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note,
Yeah.
any final last
No,
words?
just
or-
to thank you for coming in Mali to learn and also share is very important. We are very happy to receive people in my country. As I was telling you, in Mali, people you can come in country in Mali here, see a family, and they will give their bed to sleep, and they will sleep on the ground. Because for them, the one who come is more valuable, is more important than you. Because the one who walk to you, who come to you, you have to take care of these people.
Somebody said something like this. Yes,
Yeah.
my friend in Cameroon explained this.
Exactly. So in Mali, you can come and go back. Each day you eat in the family. You don't have to pay even to eat. People will call you. But if you just pass, they will call you. Come and eat. We are eating.
So it's friendly country.
Yeah, friendly country, very sociable, very helpful country.
It's been fantastic meeting you, learning about what you do. Also, your alumna, Sakulet, and Mama Mali.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But you talking about Sakale?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sakale.
Yeah, Sakale. You also
Mama
met
Mali.
Sakale.
Mama
Mali
Moringa.
Moringa, Sakale. And you, Buguni, have you seen Moussa Doumbia?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow you will meet, and you will meet other entrepreneurs. We are doing also good things here in Mali. They are doing their best. They are making impact as they can, and I think at the long run we will get.
You know, there's a friend of mine who invests in early stage companies,
Okay.
and they explained that the preference
Okay.
for an investment fund
Okay.
is companies that work with technology,
Okay.
because you can rapidly, the value can go from nothing to $1 billion
Okay.
very rapidly.
Okay.
Tough to do that with moringa or food or tea. Do you have technology companies here,
Yeah, we have technology companies.
for example?
Technology companies. I don't know one especially which is who have get a certain level, but most of them are starting. At the middle level, but not which is. But I myself, we are working on a project. We are working on a new project. We think this project can be big company, a big startup in the time coming, because after, like I say, 8 years of experience, we have seen the problems of most of the entrepreneurs we support, and now we are building an app. We will give them most of the solution they need well manage their business, and we are sure that this solution, but most of the problem is not that they don't have good solution. In Africa, selling the product is and communicating on the product is more difficult than building the product.
That's interesting. It's a marketing challenge.
Exactly. It is more difficult than we have a lot of solution. People come and show it to me, but they don't have money to market. They don't have money to communicate on the product. So
what's your most common advice? Is to give away some value for free so people come to you?
Even that, I told them to start with a physical business. And we can start making money with your physical business, and you develop aside your online business.
Okay.
And now you can use because people here, they don't trust the online business. It's very difficult for them, most of them, to pay something online. They want to see who is selling, because you have a lot of scam people who steal your money, and you don't even know where you have been. And very difficult, even the customer relationship, when you call, I send my money for this one. It's very difficult, this kind of relationship, the online relationship. So people are sometimes, if they want to see face, know who is they are buying with. So I told them, start with a physical business. What you are selling online, send it physically, and build aside your online business. And each customer you get, tell them, after selling the first product, register on my online business. And at a certain level, people will trust you. Me, when I start my MA school, Entrepreneurship Management Investment School, the first year when I do the launch and I put the website was blocked. We get a bug because too much people try to connect at the same time. Because people know me, and they trust me. So here, if you don't have money, build your reputation first. Work on yourself. Do your own business. Do the business on you and not on the product. Because making a communication, a marketing on a business is more cost. What do you say? Costly or cost? I don't know.
Expensive.
Well, expensive than doing a marketing on yourself.
Interesting.
When you want to do a business, you need influencer. Even Coca-Cola, they use influencer. Even Nike, they use influencer.
Yeah.
Influencer is expensive. If you don't have money, be your own influencer. Try to influence people first, and now when you can influence, you tell you, I want to influence you to buy my own product because you trust me. Most of the people call me, tell me, Moussa, I bought your books, but I've never read it.
How do you deal with that? Because I've had the same experience. I will sell some copies.
Yeah.
I'll talk to people and they'll say, did you finish it? Or they might have begged for a copy as a book.
Yeah.
As a gift.
Yeah.
I
never give my books as a gift.
Never.
Yeah, never.
Because it reduces the value.
Yeah, and they don't read it.
They value it more.
Yeah.
If you get it for free.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some truth to
this. Is somebody who used to read. Even somebody who used to read.
Yeah.
I prefer to talk about what's inside. And you get your curiosity. You become curious, say, I want to discover this part more. I want to know more. Which part is it? And I say, read the book, you see about it.
Okay, so you get them curious.
Yeah.
What do you do when somebody tells you I bought it but I haven't read it? What do you say?
They will read. I don't know. I know that they will not really, maybe not now.
Mhm.
But each day when I make some business, some video, at the end of the business, say what I'm just talking about is more developed in my book.
Got it.
And one day when they look one of my videos, say, "Oh, this part is very interesting for me. I want to know more about it." And one day they will read.
Brilliant.
Maybe
Brilliant.
not today, maybe not yesterday, maybe not tomorrow, but one day they will read.
I really hope that this is not our last conversation. Do you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, I want to ask you some question.
Oh.
I want to know, you travel all around the world.
Yeah.
Tell me something interesting, important you learned during all this travel, which was really remarkable for you.
So I'm going to quote a few different sources. I think I put this into one of my books lately. I think it's in the end of the most recent book number 2, which is volumes 2 and 3 of stories about people like you, entrepreneurs that I've met from visiting about 175 countries now.
Okay.
There's both an old blues musician, there's somebody who survived a concentration camp in Europe that said the same thing different ways. They said, no matter where you are,
Mm-hmm.
there you are.
No matter where you are,
There you are.
there you are. Okay.
That was the way the blues musician put it. The discovery or the observation
Okay.
is that